What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and I have found, while I have been it's been brought to my attention, probably the worst picture in the gaming community in history, thanks to Mr. Spooky Pants on Twitter. Hey, we're pushing hard to reach 1 million subscribers by Christmas. We're 400 short today. If you're watching and you aren't yet subscribed, there's a red subscribe button right below the video. It would be absolutely amazing if you feel like I've earned it. If you click that button to subscribe today, it makes finding my videos easier. It helps YouTube know that, a few people like this channel, and I would be very thankful if you subscribed. Now, this image, which I thought was just funny and would spawn a bigger conversation, was posted by Mr. Spooky Pants on Twitter. And it displays, left-wing games versus right-wing games. You might be saying, literally what? And you'd be with me. Let's just take a look at some on the left and some on the right, and then also how they are actually differentiated. So for left-wing games, we have Super Mario Odyssey, Animal Crossing, The Last of Us, Doom, Spider-Man, Fortnite, The Sims, Splatoon, Halo, and on the right wing, you have Postal, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, all of them. What looks like some anime game, a lot of anime games, Dark Souls, World of Warcraft, Red Dead Redemption 2. These are the ones that I can just kind of, the unannounced Harry Potter RPG game, which is apparently a right-wing game. Saints Row. I don't know. I don't understand how a video game has a political ideology. I think certainly game studios have them. And some of them are, more apt to put them in the game, or more apt to let them to guide them in the video game. But I mean, what exactly about Animal Crossing is left wing? The fact that it's about communist, it's a socialist nation. Is that what it is? Maybe. Let's see. Know the difference. Some are listed by series and other by individual games. In some circumstances, we could put multiple games in the same series together. Some games are listed separate, despite being in the same series. Some games are these are dictated by the political views the game may have, or the creators of said games. How the characters are spicified, whether they're minors, and or how tasteful the fan service is. So if you have those big anime jumblies, those sweater puppies, that is a right-wing game, apparently. Okay. Whether or not the fan base of each game brings more liberals or conservatives is a factor. Really? How would you even know that? Earthbound? You think you're claiming Earthbound for the left? Child, please. I continue. How they handle sensitive subjects such as gender dysphoria, etc. Other spicy stuff that I can't. Self-deletion, we'll say. Again, does that mean this is whether or not whoever made this, whether or not you agree with it? I don't know what about World of Warcraft is right-wing. I mean, some of the largest World of Warcraft creators, I would say all the large World of Warcraft creators are definitely center-left or far-left. I don't think there's any openly right-wing content creators. The closest you could maybe say is Asmongold, but he's definitely liberal. He's just more classical or open to discussion. And then it says, not all games can be added for obvious reasons. Okay, so the first normal thing you've said, the voting affiliation for 2016 and 2020 of both the creators and the fans play a factor in their position. Really. Exactly how do you know how people who enjoy Breath of the Wild, how do you know how they voted? How do you know how people who played Saints Row, an Xbox 360 game from a decade ago, how do you know how they voted? How do you know how the studio itself voted? In fact, if you're looking at this, let's just pretend for just a brief moment, just a very brief moment, that there's some sort of science or there's some sort of actual analytics behind this, which there clearly isn't. This is somebody saying, this is what we think. I mean, you could say The Last of Us Part 2, the company that made it, is far left, but I don't know if the game itself has an option to vote for a candidate. You can look at some of these comments. If anything, it just affirms that I'm a centrist. Of course. Like, why is Doom... Like, I like all these games, so then what? There's actually far more games on this list that I like than I don't like. Left Wing had Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, and Ace Attorney. Skyrim, Dark Souls, Witcher 3, and Agent 47 are right wing. Just go ahead and say good games are right wing. Well, no, because there's great games on what they say is left wing. Five Nights at Freddy's? I mean, that was never my jam, but I always thought it was like a kid's game or something like that, so I never really played it. I remember winning the plush from Claw Machines when I used to make Claw Machine videos with my wife. But outside of that, this particular image is hilariously a great representation of how certain people view video games. That video games have to have some sort of political slant. You see this comment here by Krista Brown. How about we not bring politics into video games? The world is miserable enough. Yes, apolitical games like Final Fantasy VII, Yakuza, and Bioshock. All games are political, bro. That's the mantra of the obsessive. How do you say? Empty inside loser. I mean, maybe that's harsh, but hey, I'm trying to quit smoking, so give me a break. As I've said this before, and I'll say it again, these people exist in a bubble that view everything as... Yes, okay, there is always something political about a video game. You could also say all games have of matter in them because it took matter to create them. I mean... What is the political standpoint of Tetris? What's political about Candy Crush? The idea that all games have a specific political slant is a fabrication by people that don't have any self-identity. What they have is they identify as a political candidate. These are the same people that are like, who will often be, have certain things in their bios on Twitter. Things like that. These are people that identify exclusively as who they sleep with. They don't have anything else interesting to say. They don't have anything else to add to the conversation. So they dye their hair blue. They fill up their Twitter bios. And then they identify as some political belief. And they spend their life sad and looking for other people who are also sad and don't have anything interesting to add to the conversation. Like if you want to build models... You want to go fishing, you want to crochet, you want to do homemade card making. These are things that are part of who you are, but they are not who you are. But the modern far left, they don't have any identity because they've never really started to think for themselves yet. And so they don't have any of their own opinions, and so they identify as someone else's opinion. They don't have any ideas or philosophies, so they identify as others, and they feel safe like that. They feel, obviously part of a big group, but ultimately they don't have anything interesting to add to the conversation, and this is what they spend their days on. This, my friends, is the worst image in video games. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.